stream. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm still trying to figure out this whole Twitch thing because I'm gonna do these streams from now on Twitch and get my streaming thing going and get used to it. And then, of course, welcome some of my YouTube family over to Twitch, and then I'll make sure to bring that back over to the YouTube community so we can grow both the Shenmue streaming in Twitch and in YouTube. I want to build this community and make sure I've got everyone coming together. And on the Twitch side, I still got to figure out a way to kind of let notifications come in or set up my streams. Like this one is particularly on Shenmue, but I didn't schedule it right, and I'm still trying to figure things out. So I sent out a tweet to anyone who would read it that at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 2 minutes ago, we would be live. So if you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, then welcome too. So yesterday, in particular, I had streamed the first portion of Shenmue, and we had basically uncovered the storyline of Iwao passing away and dying, looking for guys in a black car, discovering that these guys were linked to Chinese people and Chinese mafia. While looking for them, it seems like the worst were definitely sailors. So then when we find, the sailors that we were looking for in a bar, we find that they're linked to like one of the bad ones who really knows what's going on is Charlie. And that's when we left the bar, and that was yesterday. So we're going to continue the story, and the purpose is, of course, to celebrate 20 years of Shenmue, but also discover what's we haven't discovered yet from this game in relation and connection to later storyline and where the path can take us, since we've actually played up to part 3 at this point. So thank you for joining, and let's get continuing on with this game. So my controller stopped responding. Of course, my wired controller was pulled out of the wire. Of course, it's always a last minute thing. So I walked out of the bar and they said, okay, maybe motorcyclists might know where this guy is. So let's ask around. Where's Charlie?
You had a hard time.
Yeah.
Are you okay now?
Yes. I feel a lot better now.
Don't overdo it.
Can you at least help me? I wanted to ask him, like, where's this Charlie guy going at? But he didn't really quite respond.
Hey,
Let me try again to see if he'll say anything different. Alright.
Charlie?
You know him?
He's such a poser. Thinks riding a hog makes him look cool, but it don't. He ain't a real biker.
Do you know where he lives?
No idea. He only stops by sometimes. Oh yeah, go to Tsuruoka's place.
You mean Tsuruoka-san at the jacket shop?
I heard Charlie goes there sometimes.
Okay, the bike shop.
Thank you.
Alright, let me switch the view so that you guys can see the gameplay a lot better. What do you think? Better now? Alright. Now, that jacket shop is probably closed right now. And I'll probably have to go home and go to sleep. Again, this is still the first day in the game. I've been just trying to push around, see what I could accomplish. And there's Tom, always jamming. Here we go.
Kurita-san,
Yo, how are ya?
do you know a man named Charlie?
Huh? Charlie?
Wears a black leather jacket, sunglasses, and has a tattoo on his arm.
I see that guy out in front of the shop sometimes. Always ragging my merchandise, like he'd ever buy anything.
When does this Charlie come around?
He usually heads over this way after hitting the jacket shop. You know, man, guys like that almost always look around without buying anything.
I see.
All right. Well, he usually hangs around this shop, but it's closed. Does he have anything additional to say? Mickey, I don't want to talk to you, Mickey.
I'm looking for someone. Do you know a guy named Charlie?
Charlie? Doesn't sound Japanese. Who is he?
I like how Tom is dancing in the background.
I have no idea. That Charlie guy, he wears a black leather jacket and sunglasses, and he rides a motorcycle.
Wow, he's got a motorcycle? Then hey, why don't you ask Ono-san about him?
The motorcycle shop? Just past Aichi?
Yeah, that's the one.
I just asked Ono-san.
I'll give him a try. Thanks, you're a big help. Kurita-san, about Charlie?
He comes by in the evening, I guess, after pursuing the jacket shop. Like he's got nothing to do at all.
I see, thanks.
Alright, so he comes around at night. So I'm going to actually go around to the next day. So that means going home. Now that's one of the things about this game is like to progress to the next day, there's no fast travel back home. You gotta hightail it all the way back home. No bicycle. Although in the beta, and like there's been some screens and some development pictures and video that show that Rio was going to have a bicycle, which might have helped him get around, but maybe it was too impractical to develop and unnecessary because guy runs a lot and he doesn't get tired until, of course, Shenmue 3, where the more you run, the more tired he gets. In this game, you could sprint all day and it's fine. It won't tire him out at all. His energy levels stay pretty consistent, which is definitely necessary when it comes to the fact that he's got to run all the way home. Now, the thing I liked about this game too, and I might have mentioned this yesterday, is that it's so vast when it comes to its ability to put you in a deep world. And for the streamers that watching me live, thank you for always being there. I really appreciate that. You know who I'm talking to. Okay, now going to train. Actually, why not train? Train all moves. And to me, this was a bit strange that it's like, okay, he trains without doing anything, and his moves would be like improved. So train hand moves, yes. And I want to do the elbow assault. Favorite move, training, more elbow assault. Build up that, because when you build up that one move, it's actually got a lot of, why didn't I sleep? You should have slept. Turn around. Okay, I gotta walk out of the room. Definitely my fault. Walking back in the room, sleeping, and I'm out. So the clues, and this is nice, like the next day it at least gives you clues. Seen at Jupiter's jacket shop at 7ish. So ask around at the jacket shop. But it's not even 9 a.m., which means you gotta wait almost all day.
I have to be sure not to waste this.
This was kind of the game's way of saying, okay, you've got a world to kind of live in. You better get used to spending time in this world. Now, there's a lot of things that I skipped too, story elements, previously when I started the game that I didn't pay attention to before. So maybe I can relive those memories.
Leo, while you're still sleeping in bed, farmers are working hard in the fields, carefully picking carrots one by one. So how can you waste them like that?
Okay. I'll eat them.
What's interesting, you see the animation kind of approach his mouth, but you never really see him eating it.
That's my boy.
And that's purposely done because at the time, actually rendering out something like the character eating was a lot more difficult than it seemed for developers. Like, that would take a lot of work to actually process the polygons doing that. So it just was skipped. You could easily don't need to process all of that just by kind of shifting the camera angle so that you can't really see him having that interaction. So what did we learn by that one scene when it comes to the legacy of Shenmue? What we learned is that Iwao was very concerned with teaching his son respect for other people's work, respect for just kind of the simple things, right? Just like eating something that's really back to nature. And that brings you, that's actually a clue if you think about it. Because those simple acts weren't really common in the area of Japan where Ryo was. It was more like you go to the store, you buy what you need, you take it home, and that's it. So Ryo as a kid wasn't really experiencing the difficulties of actually picking his own fruits or anything like that. But in China, specifically where he trained in Guilin, everything was done by doing it yourself. You had to do it yourself and really pick your flowers and pick your carrots and pick your rice grains and do it. And that you get to experience in Shenmue 3 when you're walking around in the fields and everyone's doing like farmers work and yard work in these small little towns.
I'm okay.
Fukusan is funny when he's training. He's like so innocent. But yeah, that's the connection that even that scene has with the third Shenmue. And what's interesting, this one, every time you completed a move on the Dreamcast in the original Shenmue, your Dreamcast controller would actually beep, or your VMU would beep. And the VMU was like a little memory card or virtual memory unit that you stuck into the controllers, and it had a monochrome screen that can show you different things as you played the game when you look down on the controller. And it also would beep. So when you would accomplish this move, I'm used to like a beep happening, beep, and then if you looked at the controller, it would show you, you just mastered whatever move that you did, which was pretty cool. What's up, Play Life? Welcome to the stream.
Just ask. I'll be here. Thanks, Fukusan.
So that screen right there is kind of representative of that. I'm going to look up at the tree, see if it actually gives me a memory, because it's supposed to show me some other type of memory, but I think that was like day 1 that I was supposed to do that, and today's day 2, so I might not be able to see that. Nope. Well, let's go back to town and see what else we've got going on. I could have just skipped and went straight into the Wida, which is the bigger portion where we're supposed to meet up with the Charlie guy, but decided to walk this and see what else is going on. And plus, you wouldn't see these scenes if I would have went and did that.
Okay, Kota. Oops. Ah, yo, watch out.
And that's why you gotta be quick.
Are you okay?
Because with these cutscenes, you never know when you have to do a QTE.
Wait up, Yasuo. Wait for me.
Am I gonna tend to the cat? Sure, why not? See if it's got food here. No food. I probably should go buy food at the store for that cat. Again, just immersing you in life. See, Rio is a young kid at this point of the story, so he's doesn't really care about complexities of what probably led to his father's death.
Tatsuya,
What Rio really cares about at this point
do you know anybody named Charlie?
is, and I accidentally spoke to this kid, I actually wanted to buy a capsule toy.
Leather jacket? Like yours?
Yeah,
Nope. I haven't.
I see. I love these.
What Rio really cares about is actually just basically getting revenge on the guy who murdered his father and probably killing him. And he's just kind of like a one-track mind character. With this development, yes, you've seen that he's got a soft spot for people who he cares about in his town. But he also doesn't have a rational sense of thinking when it comes to the importance of martial arts in his family, or the complexities of asking why. He just wants to know who, what, where, when in everything that he does, but never asks why.
Excuse me.
What is it, baby?
Baby boy Rio.
I'm looking for a man named Charlie.
It's too early to call him a man. Charlie's the little foreign boy who comes to visit in the summer, right?
No, not that boy.
No, not that
He's a
boy.
man who wears a black leather jacket and sunglasses. He has a tattoo on his arm.
That's probably...
Playlife, you're asking if I checked to see if the Dreamcast version has that one save resume thing. No, I have not. I pretty much did, after the stream yesterday, went to sleep, worked all day today, and then started this stream again. I should go to the other store, the tomato shop, and see what happens there.
Stop it.
Who do you think you are?
That's Nozomi's voice.
Nozomi getting attacked.
Well, aren't we brave?
Now there's a scene here too that
Are,
I don't know how to unlock it, if it was a glitch or something, but the programmers actually intended so that Nozomi would join you in this fight, and both of you would fight these guys. But I don't know how to activate that, if that's possible at all in this version. But it would be pretty cool if I could.
Wouldn't you like to party with us?
Get away from me.
Fight it, babe. We'll be gentle.
Don't you dare lay a finger on me.
This'll be fun.
Nozomi!
Rio.
What? Are you looking for a fight?
Anytime.
Were you?
Here we go. First fight after playing this game for well over an hour. You finally experience your first fight. And I will say that even though I'm playing this, okay, that was easy. Even though I haven't played this in a while,
Both of you, stay with
I more or less know what move to default to, which is elbow assault.
Okay.
Thank you, Rio. Thanks, Dio.
Nozomi, you've got to be more careful.
They were going to hurt him.
I know, but you can't reason with those guys.
But... Okay.
Again, real naive to her obvious affection towards him. Again, he right now his mind has no time for any complications of real life drama. He only cares about the revenge quest that he's on.
Hi.
But of course, someone needs help, and Rio will do what he can.
Thirsty. I want a drink.
But this guy never stops asking for a drink whenever you pass him by. I want a drink, and then can you pick it for me?
What do you want?
You're really nice. Thanks. What kind of drink do you recommend?
Let's see.
And I'll choose the grape soda.
Here.
Thanks a lot. You've made my day.
Is the restaurant busy?
A little. You should come by again. And try Tao-san's special.
Yes. Please give my regards to Tao-san.
Again, this has nothing to do with the story.
Thing.
This whole thing really is building relationships in your town, which you already technically have, obviously, and showing you that the community has a life, that these characters have life, that they had life before all of these events. And it's establishing the fact that Rio is pretty comfortable and assertive in his own town. So, you know, he walks around the streets. He's obviously familiar with everything. He knows where Tom is. He knows where Nozomi works. He knows where his friends are. And he knows who's where. And that's partially because I've played this game so long. But it's also because it's his town. And it's developing the characters of this story. So we know that he's going to appear at this jacket shop by 7 p.m. That's when
Excuse me.
Charlie should be there.
It's about Nagai Industries.
Oh, you mean them?
Them?
Them means, them? Ain't got nothing to do with them.
I see. About Nagai Industries?
Let's talk about something else. They're them, you know.
I see.
Nagai Industries. Nagai Industries. Did I miss that part? I probably missed that part. I'm gonna look up at a map to see if I can see Nagai Industries. Because I'm totally forgetting. Or I'll just ask him.
Yes. What can I get for you?
Do you have time now, Hattori-san?
What is it?
About Nagai Industries.
Nagai Industries? Hey, Ryo, what do you want with a place like that?
Nothing.
You should stay away from them.
Why?
The members of you-know-what visit there. Don't get involved with them for your own good.
Hattori-san? About Nagai Industries.
Ryo, forget about them.
I'm okay, really.
I've warned you. It's near the thrift store where Akasaka-san works.
The Water Dragon 2?
Yeah, it's near there.
I see. Thank you very much.
Be careful, Ryo.
Yes.
Okay. It's near Water Dragon 2. Let's go to a map. And why am I not finding the map? I'm just running around town. There's the map. There's a map. I know I passed like 5 maps. Okay, it's right there. And I'm here, and it's there. Okay. Coral Antiques. Yeah, it's right where I thought it was. It's in this corner. All right. I'm looking around here because I know it's around here, but I'm having a blank. And I'm kind of losing myself. Asia Travel Company. Now something goes on there, of course. But let me ask.
Yoshia-san.
Oh,
Yoshi-san.
no.
About Nagai Industries?
Make sure you don't get involved with them, okay? If you think it's too risky, get out of there, okay?
Sure. About Nagai Industries?
If you are going there, please be careful. You know, they're the members of you-know-what.
Sure. About Nagai Industries?
Oh, that place. If you think it's too risky...
Yeah, thanks for helping me.
there, okay?
Sure.
Maybe he can help me. No, he won't help me.
What's up? Want to check out something? Just between you and me, I got me a
Very rare jeans.
rare jeans.
Again, establishing.
Maybe next time.
So it's near the machine where I gave the drink. Okay. I think that was around here. Or not. Water Dragon 2. Ah, yes. Yes, that's right. Here it is. I totally forgot that. Can't believe I forgot that little detail. Sorry I put you through this torture.
Excuse me. Hey.
I love it. Shut the hell up. Who the hell are you?
You don't shut the hell up. I'll make you wish you had.
What's with him? He's no help. Thanks anyway. Just forget it.
Forget it. I wonder if Corey Marshall knew, as he was recording that voice, what they were telling him. Alright, let's talk to Big Boss Man sitting like a boss man, who obviously don't care.
Hold it. He's just a kid. Sorry.
Can I ask you something? Can you tell me about a man named Charlie?
Charlie?
He always wears a leather jacket and sunglasses.
You mean that badass dude with a tattoo on his arm?
That's him.
I've seen him around at night.
Really?
For details, go ask Toshiki over there.
Got it.
The way the character moves, like,
Got a minute?
Hey, what's up?
I want to ask you about that guy Charlie.
that glare.
Low life. That guy walks around Doberman at night like he owns the place.
Where?
You know the military surplus shop, right? And the Yokosuka jacket shop? I hear he's a real pain down there.
Right. About Charlie?
I heard he hangs around the military surplus store. He's not very smart, but he's tough. So you be careful.
Yeah, right.
Alright, I already know that. He's gonna go to that surplus store 7 p.m. That's what I had figured, but sometimes you gotta play out a couple of the scenes. So again, Rio's flaw, single-minded, not asking why, not asking what does he have to do with anything. He's just, where's Charlie? Do you know where he is? Okay, I'll find him here. Fine, that's it. Now obviously he doesn't want to give away too much information because he doesn't want to give away his intentions, potentially. But also, it's his one-track mind of he's going to lead me to Londi, or I'll beat him up. And then when I find Londi, I'm going to kill him, not thinking about the repercussions or what that'll do to him if and when that happens.
Excuse me? Hey! I'm looking for a guy named Charlie. Oh, that idiot was ragging on our jackets. When was it anyway? Some night? I see.
Military surplus. And this is the military surplus. Again, it's all leading to 7 p.m.
Do you know a man named Charlie?
Yeah, I sometimes see that dude out in front of the shop. I haven't seen him around lately, though.
So basically, Jupiter's jackets at 7-ish. And I already asked the guy at the jacket shop.
Excuse me? Huh? That Charlie? He was here around 7 p.m.
And confirming 7 p.m.
Emerges when it gets dark. I see.
So now it's 2 something, and we've got to confirm that at 7 p.m. he's going to show up. So let's actually go into the arcade, which we haven't touched since we started this game. Now, one of the reasons that I absolutely loved Shenmue, or the concept of Shenmue before I picked it up, is that it had real-life arcade games that you can play in a video game. So I was like, oh man, I used to play these games as a kid. Now I could play them in a game that I'm playing. And then it had other games that actually helped you improve your skills in Shenmue, like QTE title. And then it had like darts, just because darts is like fun and whatever. So I'm going to play QTE title to pass the time. Now, if you know anything about me, and you know that I actually really enjoy this game, so I'm going to get intense, and you guys are going to see me. No doubtably, I'm going to beat the high score here. But let's see how high I can get this. Here we go. This is where I stay quiet. I'm really into this game. The version in Shenmue 3 is super tough. This one's tough too, but you can actually, it does a good job of working you up to like the harder portion of the game. So then it's, it's not too bad. And this will do a good job of passing the time so that for it to get to 7 p.m. So that's what an arcade's good for. Wasting time. Oh, come on. I hit the shoulder button. Oh well. High score already, huh? Okay. It's been a while since I played this. the constant, like, the way the screen moves makes it a little bit more confusing, but I just stay focused at, like, the buttons I have to hit. I'm not gonna do well though. I can feel it. Yep, I'm still going. My hands are already sweaty. I do like this game. Come on. Sorry I'm so quiet, but I get intense and I messed that up. Alright, 414. I told you I wasn't going to do that well as I usually used to do. But here we go. Last try. Saw that fake out? This game fakes you out. Can't catch that fake out. My heart's beating. I'm like, how good am I doing? I haven't even looked at the score. I'm just trying. Hitting buttons. This is why I like this game, because it gets intense. Oh, got me. That's where it usually gets me too. Alright, 872,481. It's not my highest, but it really got me where I usually get it. Anyway, it's fun to play this game. And the fact that I was able to at least get that and the title while streaming live. Pretty cool. 872. Next time I'll go for 1,000,000. But I still haven't killed enough time. It's 4 p.m. But I killed a lot of time. Holy cow. I can't play that game again because then I'll totally get like... it'll be nighttime. I'd spent practicing QTE title. I spent entire like days in Shenmue just practicing, trying to get better, because I really wanted to get really good at that game. So I'm going to practice a couple moves. Now this is another thing that the game let you do, especially because if you notice, we've been playing for a long time. Actually, this stream is on the 45th minute, and we've had 2 fights, maybe? And in the last stream, yesterday's stream, I had like a couple of QTE fights, but he really hasn't had an opportunity to fight. So when playing this game, especially as a young kid or as any gamer, you want more action. It's like, when is a fight going to happen? But that's the beauty of how this game was made. It made you absolutely love whenever a fight broke out because it was so rare. It didn't overdo it with the fighting, but it also emphasizes the fact that it also emphasizes the fact that the the importance of fighting to Ryo, but he wasn't a martial arts master. Just because he could kick anybody's butt in town, right, didn't mean that he was the best. You know, looks like I improved elbow assault a little bit. No, that's fine. So he was still somebody who was training his craft, trying to get better at whatever he did. And that was important to him. So now, in this storyline, we're waiting for... And let me kind of explain what's going on here a little bit. Switch the camera angle. Make sure I've got the right camera angle. But we're waiting for this mysterious person, Charlie. And what's his importance to the fact that his father was murdered, right? Now this person, Charlie, to Ryo, is somebody who's just a bad person. Hangs out with bad people. And he's Chinese. And he's the whole sole reason why his why his, not parents, but his dad was murdered. That's it. He knows nothing else. This guy could be armed, this guy could be dangerous, but in Ryo's personality, he doesn't care what he's linked to. He just wants to get at this guy to get more information. And that's all he cares about. So he will do the stalking, he will do the information gathering, he will just wait there. And what type of personality does it really take for someone to be so driven for revenge to do that? Now, if you've played Shenmue, like I said, this is going to be mostly spoilers territory for the whole stream. If you played Shenmue, you know that people try to rationalize him, try to teach him the importance of martial arts and what he's doing and that he needs to calm down a little bit. But if you know anything about Ryo, you know that none of that matters. All that he cares about is his pursuit of his end goal, and anyone standing in his way or trying to say, if you go down this path, the martial arts is going to take you down the wrong path and you don't want to go there, I don't care. What I want is revenge. I want Landi. And as a Dreamcast player, playing this many years ago, we kind of wanted that too. Sure, we wanted him to kind of chill a little bit, but we wanted to see, okay, where does this huge game with this huge world built everywhere, where's it going to take us? And what are we going to get out of it? And unfortunately, for much of this game, you do not get to take out or even see out of the corner of your eye Landi. That's really frustrating. Kind of mysterious, but also builds up to the myth of Landi and how much of a badass he probably is. I like this store because you can actually fish for prizes and get like no prizes or some prizes and whatnot. And then you have the ability to actually win those arcade games that you play in the arcade, to play at home on your very own video game console that resembles a white Sega Saturn, which is strange for the time because not even disc-based systems in the late 80s were something that you could just get whenever you wanted. So that's actually pretty neat and pretty cool. So, okay, this guy has a drinking problem. We have to help you, sir. You are walking to the bar and you can't even walk straight. Are you all right?
I'm just fine and dandy.
Are you sure?
I'm okay.
Sure you are. At least he's not driving, but in this part of the game, nobody's driving. It's almost 7 p.m. Almost that time. And we've spent the whole day pretty much doing whatever we want. And as you can see, people are going home from whatever job that they had and living their lives. Except Tom just never leaves the hot dog truck, that's for damn sure. But people run businesses, the businesses have their time, so this business is still open. He's going probably for more soda or on another delivery, but that was an amazing accomplishment that the developers did at the time, because there was no like GTA engine that they could just create random NPCs and they did whatever they want. Back then when this was created, every NPC had its own pre-programmed routine. And that in itself was an incredible feat for this game to accomplish. And a programming nightmare that absolutely developers never wanted to go through again. Because at the time, open world didn't really exist. And Shenmue made it a thing where you can live and breathe in an open world. Granted, much more limited than Grand Theft Auto, which came out just a little over a year or two later, but even that's open world wasn't as in-depth as Shenmue was when it comes to the minute details. It just was like cars, open world, go wherever you want and run people over, which is really why you shouldn't compare the Shenmue series to that. So it's 7 p.m. he was supposed to be around here, but you don't see him. What you don't know, because I actually, when I originally played, I just hung out right there, is that you had to walk down a little bit further past the jacket shop, and then this happens.
What's up?
Hey, I know you.
Nah, let me apologize for before.
What?
You know, you're a good fighter. I was impressed.
So, I'm looking for a guy named Charlie.
Charlie? Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah, you don't trust people, do ya? Come on, I'll take you to meet him.
So now we're gonna meet Charlie and see what Charlie is, or are we?
We got ya! Come on, tough guy, show us what you got.
A bunch of thugs want to jump us. See, this is why training is absolutely important. And dodging. And I definitely don't want to do this level again. So I'll just toss these guys around like nobody's business. Now, one of the disappointing things about Shenmue 3 is that there were no throws, but I learned to get around without throws. Obviously. See, no fear in his personality.
So, do you know Charlie?
I don't know any Charlie.
Where'd you get the tattoo?
Okinawa. I'm not lying, but there's a tattoo parlor in Yokosuka too. A friend told me about it.
Where's the tattoo parlor?
I don't know. You've got to believe me.
Again, I like the cinematography of that scene. So, tattoo parlor, where is it? I actually do know where it is, but let me switch the view so you guys can see better. But what was his reasoning behind asking a tattoo? But you know, it's because Charlie had a tattoo, and if Charlie has a tattoo, he probably got it at a similar nearby tattoo parlor, and they would just know each other. So we gotta find out where you can get a tattoo.
Do you know of any tattoo parlors around here?
Oh, right, tattoos. I heard there was a shop like that around here.
Really? Do you know where it is?
No idea. Oh, I know some of the bikers who come here sometimes have tattoos on their arms. Why don't you ask them?
Where can I find them?
I see them a lot in the arcade.
The arcade? Thanks.
Alright, time to go to the arcade. See, again, asking a lot of questions, but still has to find out why. And that's the big question that I think Ryo just doesn't find it in him to ask. Why? Why do these people all have tattoo parlors in common? Like, why do they all get tattoos? Is it something of a right? Maybe I should get a tattoo to actually be in with these guys. Anyway, here they are. These guys are so rude.
You interested in tattoos?
Yeah.
This tattoo's our gang symbol.
Where'd you get it?
At the best tattoo artist around.
Where's that tattoo parlor?
By the look of those arms, you look like you can hold your own in a fight. I'll tell you what you want to know, if you'll join our gang.
Fine, I'll join.
Alright.
If you mean it, go get the tattoo. The shop's in Okayama Heights. I trust you can find it yourself.
Alright, so I basically told him I'll join your gang. I'll get the tattoo. Bold-faced lie to them. The Okinawa Heights, I'll show you where it is. And I'm sure he knows where it is. If you notice, look at how the patrons, and I always thought it was pretty cool. As soon as it's time to close, they actually close their own shops. And then if I followed this one NPC, this NPC would walk home or walk to whatever else they were going to do at night. If they were one to frequent bars like this guy, he'd frequent the bars. And the fact that the programmers actually programmed that into the game is pretty darn cool. Okay, so Okinawa Heights is right here. And this is the tattoo parlor. Or it's right here. Didn't have to ask anybody for that.
Sorry, man, we're closed. A guy named Charlie gets his tattoos here, right?
Never heard of him.
That's funny. He's been bragging about your work. I want to ask him something in person.
That's so. Hey, man, why don't you lose the jacket?
What?
Easy, man. I just figured you've got perfect skin for my
Such strange characters here.
color. No sag. I would love to get the chance to work on someone fresh for a change. I'm sick and tired of those cheap, greasy punks.
No, I'm not into tattoos. I want to know about Charlie.
Hey, let me work on you, man. I won't charge you nothing. Come on.
I said no.
Oh, man.
No means no.
Too bad.
You know Charlie, don't you?
Come on back tomorrow.
Is he coming in tomorrow?
He might come. Look, I'm closed. Get out.
It's like, I'm closed, get out. Return to the tattoo parlor tomorrow. So now, again, you've got to wait till tomorrow. Which means you go and you have to go back home, sleep, and come back tomorrow. But maybe after an hour's worth of playtime that we've had tonight, we can finally meet Charlie. But until then, gosh, everybody's drunk down this street. That must have been fun to program when the programmers did that. So until then, we're going to dive home before Ine-san, which is the caregiver to Ryo, gets worried. The interesting thing I always thought about this whole town, first of all, Dobuita, Yokosuka in general, and all of these places actually exist in Japan. They're based off of real-life locations in Japan that you can go visit. But the interesting part of Ryo's home in general is that if you look at Sakuragaoka or Dobuita or, you know, all the other places, Yamanose, like it's hilly, but they're all like houses that are close to each other, nice looking houses. But then walking up this road, straight road, is Ryo's amazing home with a dojo that has a gate to get in. Now, obviously, Landi had to get through that gate, but this place is impressive. Biggest property that you see in the entire game, which leads you to believe that there's money connected to the Hazuki family. So the question is, if Iwao was living this life of pretty much martial arts in China and studying martial arts, why or how did he take that, the mirrors, first of all, and how did he come up with enough money to, and what type of life did he live to have a family, specifically Ryo, who's his mysterious wife that you don't see anywhere, if he was even married at all, and how did he end up raising Ryo? So that's another thing that you got to look into. How did he end up having a son, having this property, raising this dojo, training on the martial arts that he trained in as he was, you know, raising his family in a good way. And what did he learn with his life that he wanted to instill in his son? Return to the tattoo parlor. And then, in that fact, how did they get all this money? What treasure did Iwao uncover that led him to be a very rich man? And did it have anything to do with the mirrors? So many questions are asked if you just look beyond the surface of like, okay, this is his home. Why is his home so much better than everyone else's? Why did he instill these beliefs into Rio? And that's something that you all got to think about when it comes to the storyline and unpacking and uncovering the storyline. And this is before we're getting into the Chinese mafia and everything that is connected to Lan Di. And today we're going to meet, hopefully, because we were supposed to meet him yesterday, today we're going to meet Charlie. Potentially, right? Does it happen? Do we ever meet a guy named Charlie? Who knows? But I think that's where I'm going to end today's stream, with leaving you with those thoughts on Shenmue and digging deeper into the storyline. And yeah, play life because he's the protagonist and everything is big. Yeah, usually protagonists, though, have a goal to be successful and get up there. But as the protagonist in this game, you're already at the top of the food chain. Why? And I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. And if you know, if anything, in Shenmue 2, he goes from being at the top to scraping for food, scraping for a place to sleep in the upcoming sequels. But thank you for watching. Thank you for following. I'm totally honored that you guys are following me. And we're going to keep on growing Twitch, and I'm going to keep on doing these streams and continuing the Shenmue story. Join me along. And I'm going to try this time, attempt to upload it to YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching my after stream, definitely join me on my Twitch channel. I'll leave a link to my Twitch channel on the YouTube channel so that you can catch up when I do these streams live. But we'll see what happens from there. But thank you, and as always, you can make my day when you follow or subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. Can't wait to see what else we uncover on this storyline. See you later.